Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Review Any Tech. So today we are reviewing a very critical technology if you travel a lot. It's called All-in-One Travel Adapter slash Converter. Now, there are a lot of travel adapters out there, but not all of them can convert electricity. I'm gonna get into what that is in a moment. Now, first off, this is the stuff in the box. There is nothing in there but the adapter and a piece of paper, so I won't even bother to open it. It's This is how it's gonna look like for different areas in the world. Now I'm gonna explain to you how it is and how well it works. Now this is the actual brick. A critical point is that you need to make sure this particular model only works for those of you who live in the United States, Canada, or any other country that uses the American ports, which look like this, because all your appliances should use this port. Some other adapters have a selection of ports for inputs, but the only input here is this one. Output port. Now, how it works is first I'm gonna go over the different areas in the world. So, for US and Australia, when you put it here, when you are in US or Australia, you're gonna put the button on the Australia side and you will simply push this portion forward. Now you have, this is the Australian plug. If you want to turn it to US plug, you just turn it and it's for US. Now, next one is Europe, which would probably be the most useful to you because the Europe one, those of you who live in the USA, you wouldn't need this anyways. So we bring it to the middle, Europe, and you can slide the Europe plug out. Amazing. Now, sorry about that. Last but not least is the UK form of plug, and you just slide on the top for this to come out, and there is this for the middle, the earth plug. This is not an actual earth plug, so make sure you do not use it for connections that do require an earth plug. That goes for the US model, and well, the European plugs do not have an earth, but for the US and the British, both of them don't use this for anything that requires an earth connection, because it's gonna be dangerous and risky. In overall, please don't use this device for an extended amount of time at once because of how it works. Once you're done, you plug that back in, and that. Now, let's get into conversion. Now, you see it's currently on adapter. No, it's on converter. So I can push it back to adapter. Now, what does this do? Is it converts at 220 up to 240 volts, 200 up to 120 volts. Now, what we use in Canada and the United States is 100 volts, but certain countries, especially European countries, use 220. Now, if you plug in your appliances directly into a European plug using any sort of adapter, not converter, it's gonna damage the device. So you need to convert the electricity from 220 to 110 which this device will do for you. Now, then why is there an adapter option? Great question. Well, that is because some of the devices, such as your phone, your iPad, your MacBook, laptops, or any computerized device, have their own adapters built in. So if you look at the back of the adapter, there is some writing that says, for example, this device is compatible from 100 to 220. That covers the whole spectrum. Therefore, you shouldn't plug that in here and at the same time use the converter. It's gonna bring down the voltage too much. Therefore, you should just plug it in and use the adapter portion. Now, this device on the box, it has a note that indicates please do not leave the converter for a long period of time. See, it says use for short periods of time only. It gets a bit hot, and the other thing is about the fact that you shouldn't use it for those devices that do have an actual built-in converter. For those, you just use the adapter to be able to plug it into the wall. Now, if you just want an adapter and not a converter, which is understandable, however, I would go with this definitely. There are certain brands that create adapters that not only have plugs for all over the world as inputs, but they have outputs that fit all over the world. So you might want to try those out. This device specifically has a very good price. It is around $40. For what it does, it's worth. And it will get the job done for you. I have seen adapters / converters that do have USB ports, so if that is something you're looking for, you might want to look into those. But for me, this gets the job done and it does it quite well. And it's compact, it goes into your bag and you won't remember that it's there. A little bit heavy, but given that it's a converter, it is understandable. Now, please keep in mind when you are plugging in something that requires converter, do not turn it on with the adapter because it will burn it. Just start with converter. The best thing to figure out whether or not something is requires a converter or an adapter is to look at the port that goes into this socket here. If it has a bulky thing that has writing on it, it's very likely that it is an adapter, and it will indicate that it has an adapter, a converter in it. If not, if it's just the plug itself and during the entire wire you do not see anything, then it is probably an adapter. You should use the converter for it. So look into it. All appliances all over the world do have this writing. There are symbols internationally used that just use the number. It doesn't matter where you get it from. They all are written in English numbers. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or concerns, please comment down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe and see you later. Peace.